Hello, everybody. It's your host, Emmanuel Maraks on the Emmanuel Maraks Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for those that have followed. If you haven't followed, now is the best time to follow, subscribe to our channel, like, share with your friends, because again, the content we're going to be dishing out on here is going to be fantastic. Today is going to be our official first episode of the Emmanuel Maraks Podcast, an official episode that begins our business series. So we're going to be starting our business series today. So today we're going to be talking about something light, right? The concept of starting a business, starting out something new, starting to build, that initial energy or that initial push. That's, the concept of starting, basically. Now, I know that a lot of you are basically sitting down there, in your houses, in your offices, and saying, I have this idea. I want to start a business, right? I want to start something. I want to build something. It could be tech related, it could be fashion related, it could be anything really, right? No matter what it is. And then you're looking for how to start, very perfect, how to start very fantastic. Some of you have drawn up your plans. Some of you have actually, put together your logos, put together, how exciting it is for you to want to start a business, that initial excitement and a couple of other things. But then for some reasons, you never just start because you feel like some things are missing, some elements are missing, some things are, I hate to break it to you, it's never going to be perfect. Yes, I said that, it's never going to be perfect. And anybody who's going to come across to you to tell you it's going to be perfect, they're lying to you, my guy. Now, I'll tell you why. Because every single thing that concerns the starting of a business is never perfect. Even truth about the matter is that even when God was creating the world, the first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day, the fifth day, the sixth day, the seventh, after the seventh day, he rested and looked at it and said, okay, you know what, this is good. Do you understand? And then there are a couple of other things he has done after the seventh day and a couple of other things. But it's just important for you to know that you have to at least start first. Started by saying, let there be light. And there was light. So meaning that in 2026, right, we're basically telling everybody, I'm basically telling everybody who cares to listen, everybody who cares to delve into the world of business, to basically just start, right? Start right now. Do you understand? That business, have fun, start. Do you understand? It's okay to come into the market and make a mistake. I'm going to use myself as an example. So before starting the Emmanuel Maraks Podcast, we would hatch this idea as far back as 2024. We had put down the concepts, put down the conversations. We had actually talked to a couple of people who joined us on the podcast in terms of, guest speakers and a couple of other things. We've put a lot of things together. So last year, we began buying equipment, setting up the podcast and everything. But we just, for some reason, right, it's either, who's going to edit the video, it's not available, who's going to shoot, it's not available, who's going to it's not available, And then somebody sent me a message and said, you know what? I think that you should just start. I think that there's something that you're trying to do, and I feel it's really going to be massive and great, and I feel like you're holding back. Just start. And I told myself, that's actually one of the biggest advice I've gotten in the last couple of months. Why? Because the truth about the matter is, if you never start, you never see what you're trying to achieve. And then a lot of people don't understand that because you never started, you're not able to make, in fact, some of the things that you're going to be building, some of the major building components of that business, of that initiative that you are trying to do, right, would actually reveal themselves after you have started, not before, right? Sometimes you figure out that the people who would want to collaborate with you on certain things, people who want to meet with you, solve some of the initial problems that you're thinking are blockers, are just basically waiting to see a proof of concept from you before they come on board your ship, right? So I think, wherever you are, whoever you are, I think just start. That's all I have to say to you today. Just start. And then watch out how things unfold for the rest of the year. So it's January already, so now it's a very good time to start that business because people are, basically trying to pick up, for the year. People are basically trying to put their things together. People are trying to, reorganize, align with their strategies for the year and a couple of other things. So I think you should start now, right? Begin to roll out, begin to talk to your friends about it, begin to talk to your family members about it, begin to find those customers, begin to send out those proposals, begin to send out those emails, begin to send out those calls, those messages, right? Begin to tell everybody about your business, begin to tell them that, okay, yes, you now exist, begin to tell them that, okay, you started and you're able to offer this service, just start, right? The whole concept of all of this is starting, because starting is the first step you take, right? To either, determine whether you're going to succeed or fail. Now, we're going to open another series as to, what it really takes to start, right? Concept of handling failures and rejections when it comes to business, right? The concept of understanding, when something, is not going to work and, pivoting. So we're going to have series like that. And then for each video, I'm going to show you what the next series is going to look like. But then today, I just really want you to sit back there and take it and just tell yourself, what I'm going to start. So I'll tell you a story, another story, because that's one thing you figure out about me. I like to tell a lot of stories. And I'm going to sit back for this story. So a few years back, right, we just started a company in Nigeria, Maraks, which is obviously a payment company. And then we had also, after about a year or so, we launched in Kenya due to the traction we're getting. And then, it began to take, astronomical growth from there. Now, the story I'm about to tell you is a bit unrelated to business, but then, so on one of the many visits we're visiting, to the branch in Kenya, right, we decided to just take out some time and relax and then just have a conversation. And then we went to, how Kenya gives you a lot of options to, either visit fun places like Giraffe Center and, Elephants Orphanage and the rest. Right, so we decided to do zip lining. So we went zip lining. We're 3 that went zip lining. And then they took us to one end of the mountain and we're going to fly across to the other end of the mountain. And then that's, hanging on the rope, they strap you up and everything. And then they make you sign this whole indemnity that, okay, whatever happens to you is, between you and your family members, not them. After they not force you. But it's okay, right? I don't have a problem with that. So now the interesting part about it is when we got to the point of finally, so we did like a small training first where we just basically use like 2 small pillars on the ground and they just test you how to, slide, how to brake, how to stop, how to go back when you get stuck. Do you understand? Depending on what it is, right? So how to, when you slide from this end, it doesn't take you to the other end of the mountain. It stops you almost at this other side and then you have to use your hand and go back. So we did all that training. I excelled. In fact, Nigerians, Karama, everything, train, I want to get one of the, best, everything. So we showed ourselves. So we now got to the point where we're supposed to do the zip lining. Guess what? The first person went. I said, okay, I'll go next. The second person went. I said, okay, I'll go next. The third person went. I said, okay, we're 15 in number. I will never forget that number. So guess the number I finally went. I went 14. Then the other guy that came with me from Nigeria went 15. Why? Because he was more scared than I am. So by the time we got there, a whole lot of things were just bursting through my head. What if I, enter this and I die? What am I going to tell God? Because I left my hotel room and I came, to the center of the bush. And then I decided so what if the rope cut? What if this? What if that? What if this? And then the first person, the second person successful, third person successful, fourth person successful, the fifth person successful, seventh person, and I kept pushing next. I think it was around the 9th or the 10th person. He was a small boy. He came to me and said, no, I think you should go first. I said, no, if I slap you here, you will go. So it was a very, interesting conversation. But after everybody had gone and the instructions were like, okay, we're closing are you guys going or not? Because it seemed that we had, strapped you guys up and everything, nobody was moving. So I said, okay, fine. We're gonna make a move for it. And then we did. So what I discovered that when I climbed up there, I just said, God, how is this going to go? Before my thoughts could calm down and immense the fact that I was there, I think the guy was pissed off with me, which was a very good thing. So he just pushed me. And then the next thing I saw myself was I was in the middle of the ride going across the mountain. I looked down, all I could see was the forest. I was high up in the sky. Beautiful experience. And then midway, I discovered that the confidence kept building. And I finally got to the end. And then I turned and I crawled my way back and it was so fantastic. And then they said, okay, you have to do it to go back. The return leg of that particular zip line was very easy. Now, what is the moral of the whole story? The moral of the story is if you never start, you will never get better. If you never start, you will never know what it means to actually succeed. If you don't start, you will never know whether that your idea is going to work or not. And to be fair, right, the concept you have in your head will not always work. Take it from me. It would, in most cases, at least 80% of the time, not going to work, right? But then, the truth about the matter is until you start, before you find out the actual pivotal point. I can share a lot of business experiences. I can share a lot of stories. I can share you a lot of scenarios where in the middle of, that particular situation, that's when we figured out, the solution. That's when we figured out the product. That's when we figured out, okay, what customers want and a couple of other things. Because truth about the matter is, your customers actually want to see you start, and then they basically tell you, oh, I think you can do this better. You can do this better. You only see people who are going to be fans of your business. You only see people who are going to love you for who you are. You only see people who are going to love you for imperfections, right? And some of the biggest companies you look at today, they have something called, the growth journey with their users, where they basically come clean and tell their customers, see, we just stumbled into this industry, right? And we're basically trying to figure this thing out. We're not perfect. Do you understand? We don't have everything it takes, right? We're not it. However, if you would give us the opportunity to just show you that what really matters is that we are committed enough and we care so much about solving this problem, that's why we brought the solution to the table, right? And then if you give us the opportunity to actually show you that we can actually ensure that whatever component of this solution that we're basically putting out is totally going to meet your needs, and we'll keep modifying it for it to get better as you grow. Do you understand? So that as we're growing, you're growing. As you're growing, we're growing. That's actually the best. That's what the market today is looking for. Not the most perfect guy. Not somebody who's going to come out and then the next day is going to. If you look at the likes of the OpenAI, ChatGPT, likes of any major breakthrough in the area of tech or any major breakthrough at all. When it came out, it wasn't a smooth slide. Do you understand? But then you discover that after a while, right, it begins to go. So by the time we begin to bring guests on the show to basically tell you, this is my story, these are my path to success, this is the route I follow, this is that. You basically see that they understood one thing. They started because they know they had no other options. There was one of the greatest business moguls we're talking to, right? Maybe one of these days he's going to be on the show. I won't mention his name until he comes around. He told me something. He said back then when we started, right? That's when they started, not me, right? This was in the early 90s when they started, right? So actually he was part of the people who worked closely with the team of people who built one of the biggest banks today in Nigeria. So he said when they started, right, they didn't necessarily have an option of pulling back. It was more or less like life just pushed them into it and shut the door in their back. So there's no going back. You either succeed at it or you die inside there. Do you understand? And then just had to move. And then when he said that thing, it sunk in me, because in my head I was like, wait a minute. At least now we have the option of even deciding whether I want to start or not, right? Whether I want to drop that 9-to-5 job, open a business or not. Whether I want to, take on the entrepreneurial hat in my company or not. Whether I want to more or less like, enter into that venture or not, right? Whether I want to risk it or not, right? But then, in their own case, they didn't have that opportunity. They didn't have nobody asking them that question. It was, you must do it or die. So if they can succeed, why can't we? Right? So I am talking to the next generation, the new wave of business owners who are basically looking at themselves today and saying, we have all these tools, we have all these opportunities, we have all these accesses, we have all this information, we have all this, ease of, doing business today, right? But then for some reason they just want to start because they still feel like some things are not perfect, they still feel like some things are not okay, they still feel like, okay, maybe now's not the right time, they feel like, okay, I'm okay in my comfort zone, that kind of conversation. So well, guess what? I'm the angel that they sent to you. So let this video be a confirmation, let this video be your confirmation that because you have seen my face today, because again, I don't wake up in the morning, come out in front of camera not to inspire somebody. That's a lie. So as you've seen my face today, go and start. Also, you're still watching this video, stand up and go and start. When you know this video, message. In fact, our DMs are open, right? If you're inspired through this video and you've started a business, message us. In fact, let me hook you up to our great business development team at Maraks Pay. Some of your businesses, they could support you, they could help you with very outstanding, fantastic payment systems. Are you still watching the video? You should have started by now. You've not learned anything. Go and start. Thank you very much. Bye.